Let's see, what is this? We have an article. Let's read this article. Okay. Okay, so we have an article which is called it's from Slate. I think it's from yesterday, December 11th, or 2 days ago, and it says the real reason all the top chess players are men. So let's cover this article. Okay, it's by Wei Ji Ma, December 11th, 11:25 a.m. So we keep going. Okay, so the Queen's Gambit has been conquering Netflix viewing records, much like its protagonist, a chess player named Beth Harmon, conquers the chess world. The story is gripping and inspiring. The chess content has been expertly curated, which is pretty rare for a piece of popular entertainment about chess. Nevertheless, one aspect of the show is wildly unrealistic. As Monica Hesse, writing in the Washington Post, and Dylan Loeb McLean, writing in the New York Times, have pointed out, the men Harmon encounters are largely supportive of her chess career. A real-life Harmon would have had to deal with all kinds of comments about women's inferior chess abilities. Misogynist digs are common in the top ranks of the game. I guess they're not just so smart, world champion Bobby Fischer said in 1962. Chess is not for women. Women are weaker fighters, world champion Garry Kasparov said in 1989. Men are hardwired to be better chess players than women, vice president of the World Chess Federation FIDE and Grandmaster Nigel Short said in 2015, adding, "You have to gracefully accept that." What I'm going to say about this is that this is complete bullocks, to use British English. It was a different era, so I think when you look at the comments by Bobby Fischer, the comments by Garry Kasparov, it's more understandable or accepting. The comment by Nigel, as far as I'm concerned, is absolutely ridiculous. I don't need to get into any of that specifically, but Nigel's been known to make a lot of comments that certainly are not correct, to put it mildly. All right, I said bullocks, not Bologna. Anyway, let's keep going. The fact that top male players are consistently ranked higher than top female players may have nothing to do with talent and everything to do with statistics and external factors. All right, so let's keep going. It is not just men who think like this. Did I miss it? Sorry, let me make sure I don't miss it. Let's keep going. It is not just men who think like this. Eva Repkova, an international master who heads FIDE's Commission for Women's Chess, recently commented, "The game doesn't come naturally to women. Some people might not like that. It's more natural for men to pick chess than interest, or women to pick music or arranging flowers." India's top female player, Grandmaster Kaneru Humpy, said that you have to accept that men are better players in an article titled "Why Women Lose at Chess." Yes, these comments are harsh and discouraging, but many believe that it is the cold hard truth that women are worse at chess than men. The facts seem indisputable. There has never been a female world champion. The best female player has always been ranked substantially lower than the best male player and would probably lose to him in a match. And of the top 100 players in the world, only one is a woman, Chinese Grandmaster Hu Yifan. However, as a chess player and an academic, I can tell you that none of this justifies the conclusion that women are inherently worse at chess than men. The fact that top male players are consistently ranked higher than top female players may have nothing to do with talent and everything to do with statistics and external factors. Let's start with the statistics. A 2008 study led by psychologist Miriam Bilak points out the logical flaws in citing differences in top rankings as evidence of inherent differences. If one group, female chess players, is much smaller than another, male chess players, then just by chance, one would expect that the best member of the larger group outperforms the best member of the smaller group. Okay, this makes perfect sense so far. Okay, so let's keep going. To explain this, I like to use a thought experiment. Imagine that you gather 12 people and randomly give 10 of them a blue hat and 2 of them a green hat. You then randomly assign to each person a number between 1 and 100. You declare that the score of the blue team is the highest number held by a person with a blue hat, and that the score of the green team is the highest number held by a person with a green hat. It turns out that the blue team will, on average, score substantially higher, 91.4%, than the green team, 67.2%. Obviously, this is not because of any inherent difference between the blue and green team members who were, remember, given hats randomly. It is only because of chance. The blue team having 10 members simply has more shots at a high score than the green team having only 2. The takeaway: if one group is much bigger than another group, then comparing the top performers in the groups of each other is fundamentally unfair. All right, so far I pretty much agree with this. I think this is very legitimate, and I was saying this on my stream the other day that I think it's a good point that a lot of it is about statistics and the pure numbers more than anything else. So let's keep going. Okay. So, okay. Why is this? Okay. So the same logic applies to chess. For example, on FIDE rating lists, out of the players you may like, yeah, out of the players who who had played in 2019, only 10.1% were female. In the United States, this number was 8.2%. I recently chat stop it. I recently calculated the male female participation gap alone could account for the rating difference between the top male and female Indian player. In other words, the top level gap in India can be fully explained by the participation gap. When we correct for the fact that way more men play chess than women, there is simply no evidence that men on balance perform better, at least in India. Also fair, good point. High profile sweeping statistic statements about men being superior at chess typically do not include the necessary statistical analysis and should therefore not be trusted. But what if one were to do the right analysis for countries other than India? Is the top level gap only due to participation gap the world over? Jose Camacho Colados, a computer scientist and international master, and Nikos Bose, a statistician, asked exactly that. They found several countries in which the participation gap cannot fully account for the top level gap. That being said, the former always can partially explain the latter, and therefore glancing at the top level gap by itself will still leave you with the wrong impression. Okay, this I don't completely understand what they're saying here, but we'll keep going. So let's keep going. Even if the participation gap does not fully explain the differences in top rankings, that does not support the notion that women are inherently worse at chess. Nor do Callados or Bosse claim it does. There are many external factors, social, cultural, and economic, that could make the top female chess player rank lower than that of a top male player, even with the participation gap corrected for. So they're saying there's some way that the gap kind of, even though the numbers are different, it's some kind of differential. I'm not sure. All right, so you guys are acting out, so I'm running an ad, so give me 1 second. Okay, so as I was saying, give me a second. Yeah, you guys are misbehaving, so you guys get your ads. All right, yeah, that's the punishment. Okay, so I'm gonna actually heat up some water. 1 second. No ads for me. It's okay. I'm running some ads, so I'll just I just ran a couple of ads, so I'm gonna heat up some water, make some coffee. I'm gonna wait until the ads are over. It's fine. No, it's fine. It's just, yeah, you guys get your timeout for being rude. For being rude. Thank you to Maybe Gaming for the Prime. Thank you to 2 Andy for the Prime as well. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, take your time. Take your time. Yeah. I'm here for the ads. Yeah, I'm here for the ads. Yeah. So anyway, you guys, thank you to Arfink for the Prime as well. Appreciate it. Thank you for the Prime. We'll keep going. We'll keep going. But I'm just taking a short 3-minute break because people were acting out, so that's why I'm running some ads. How much is it to rent this place? It is free. I am a member of TSM, so I have my office here. It's a streamer room to be technically clear, but with COVID, I'm the only streamer I think who has streamed from here. Thank you to Kelly for the 500 bits. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. So yeah, it's pretty nice. I can't complain. Again, I am a member of TSM. I can only express my gratitude and thanks. I mean, they took a chance on me. Obviously, chess has not been that big online, or this sort of only this year that is broken out. So a lot of thanks goes to TSM, of course, for taking a chance, honestly, on me. So it does mean a lot. All right. Okay, so we're almost there. Just a couple more seconds, you guys. TSM is great. Bjergsen's not here. No, he's not here. Bjergsen's not here. Okay. Show us the Steam room. What do you mean by Steam room? Hikaru is so nice to be streaming for us, as well as mattress is probably ending up in some seedy LA motel. Yeah, exactly. All right, you guys. So we are back. Okay, so let's keep going with the article. Even if the participation gap does not fully explain the differences in top rankings, that does not support the notion that women are inherently worse at chess, nor do Kayados or Bose claim it does. There are many external factors, social, cultural, and economic, that could make the top female chess players rank lower than the top male player, even with the participation gap corrected for. Top female players are often relegated to women-only invitational tournaments, most likely limiting their ability to increase their ranking. It is possible that national federations invest less in top female players than in their male counterparts, for example, in terms of training or finding sponsors. It's much easier for male players to make a living from chess. Among top players with children, women might be more burdened with childcare duties than men, and therefore have less time to play in and prepare for tournaments. Top female players might fall victim to stereotype threat, where a member of a negatively stereotyped group underperforms due to the pressure or anxiety induced by the stereotype, which indeed seems to manifest itself in the results of chess games. It is also likely that top female chess players face a particularly hostile environment, leading them to drop out in higher proportions than lower-ranked women. Social psychologists, including my New York University colleague Madeline Heilman, have shown that successful women in traditionally masculine roles are often derogated. It's derogatory, but I think here it's derogated, I guess, and disliked. For concrete examples, check out women grandmaster Jennifer Shahadi's art project, Not Particularly Beautiful, an oversized wall-hanging chessboard filled in with misogynistic insults she and other female players have been subjected to. Wow. Any English? Okay, sorry if I mispronounced it, but I know it's derogatory, but derogated, it should be derogated, right? Anyway, all right, let's keep going. All these factors are external, and none of them have anything to do with intelligence or natural ability. They can be hard to untangle. For example, you cannot isolate young chess players, raise them around people with different belief systems about gender, and then see how they do in a tournament. But in math, a field much like chess in several ways, a fascinating natural experiment occurred when Germany split into East and West Germany. The gender gap in math ended up being much smaller in East than West Germany, arguably because the East's radically egalitarian system encouraged girls' self-confidence and competitiveness in math. This demonstrates that gender differences in intellectual performance can be caused by society-level beliefs. Wow, interesting. Okay. In chess, breaking down the components of the top-level gap is challenging, has been a topic of academic study for decades, and will continue to be for the foreseeable future. It is very difficult to quantify all of the social, cultural, and economic effects and how they might otherwise make otherwise star women players play a bit worse. But chess players often turn to a simpler explanation than statistics or treatment: biology. Recall that Short spoke of hardwiring and that Repkova said that picking up chess just wasn't natural for women. Probably the answer is in the genes Kasparov mused in 1989. He has now disavowed that statement, but one only has to look at chess forums to know that the thinking is alive and well. Chess is a culture in which raw innate brilliance is seen as the driver of success, and chess players tend to explain gender differences in chess performance in terms of inherent or biological differences. Again, I don't agree. I don't agree at all with this. I think, it's like Repkova's statement where she says it's harder for women to pick up chess. Like, the sort of that kind of proves the point in a different way. Like when she says that, like, why don't they pick up chess? It's because it's a very hard environment to get into in the first place. So it kind of proves the point the other way, to be clear. All right, so let's keep going. Okay. So let me state unequivocally that there is currently zero evidence for biological differences in chess ability between the genders. Of course, that does not mean that there are certainly no such differences, but what would be the point of research focused on detecting them, given that those are exactly the differences that nobody can do anything about? To me, it is instead worth asking why chess players have a predilection for biological explanations. Ooh. Interesting. Okay. Can I be honest? Can I give a hot take? You guys? I'm gonna give a hot take for a second. It's because chess players are idiots. That's why we're stupid. There you go. There's my hot take. So we can't come up with a rational explanation. We just say that because we can't think of something that makes any sense. All right. Psychologist Andrea Chimpion, another colleague at New York University, has reported that inherent explanations serve to reinforce hierarchies. That works out conveniently for those in high status positions who in the chess world tend to be men. It is harder to acknowledge that external factors, such as an unfair distribution of resources or a hostile environment, have held top female players back. Of course, vehement denial of privilege by the privileged plays a role in pretty much every battle for social justice. The idea that innate chess ability is critical for success rather than a commitment to studying the game to get better and better at it might itself keep the participation gap wide in the first place. Andrea Chimpion, Princeton University philosopher Sarah Jane Leslie and colleagues studied 30 academic disciplines in the U.S. and found a strong negative correlation between the pervasiveness of innate ability beliefs and the proportion of female PhDs. Moreover, very young children already internalize beliefs that men are more brilliant than women. A 2017 study showed that 6-year-old girls in the US are already less likely to believe that members of their gender are really, really smart, and that they begin avoiding activities that are said to be for children who are really, really smart. There we have it. A shockingly early start for the participation gap in chess. Okay, I don't disagree with that. All right, so let's keep going. The result is a vicious, whatever, who cares? The result is a vicious cycle. Men believe that women and girls are not innately brilliant and therefore bad at chess. The resulting toxic attitudes drive women out. The participation gap increases, the top level gap increases, and statistically challenged men believe even more that women are bad at chess. As in other areas with brilliance culture and a stark participation gap, such as physics and computer science, the cycle is incredibly difficult to break, yet we must try. The Women in Chess initiatives by the United States Chess Federation throws money and support behind tournaments that cater to girls and women. As Sarah Jane Leslie explains, emphasizing the importance of hard work over brilliance might help prevent girls and women from dropping out. Projects like Not Particularly Beautiful forcefully call out biased statements and shine a light on the role that culture plays in keeping women out. Even a Netflix series that paints a slightly rosy picture of life in the chess world might help. The Queen's Gambit seems to have given female participation an impressive boost, at least in online chess, but those gains will be fleeting in the absence of systemic change. All right, okay, let me just scroll up so we don't, well, I guess we're going to get an ad no matter where we are. But anyway, I tend to agree with a lot of the points they say. I've said this many times, which is that the reason there are not as many female players at the top is because of the statistics. It's because of the fact that you have so many more boys playing chess and proceeding to continue playing. And it's like I would say, like for myself. So when I think back to my childhood, there were very few female players playing to start with. So it makes a lot of sense that you're going to have male players. But beyond that, what I would say is that when I think about my childhood, there were so many players who I thought were more talented and better than I was, who become really good. And then all of them did not get there, and I did get there. So if you think about it from that standpoint, if I think of, hundreds or maybe 1,000 kids who were juniors that I played against in various national competitions, I was the one who became a really strong player and became extremely good. But all the rest of them, they were very good players, but they did not get to the top levels. So think about it. If you have me becoming one out of like the 1,000 of the kids who were really, really talented, then think about, as a female perspective, if you have like, let's just say there are 5 or 10 players who are really good at the age of say 10 or 11, what are the odds that 1 out of 10 becomes really good versus 1 out of 1,000? Like it's to me, it's pure statistics. I don't believe it at all, honestly. I think anyone who tries to say it's like biology or these sorts of things, or that women are stupider, I think is completely ridiculous. I don't agree at all. I think it's pure probability. And what you have to figure out is what is the reason that there are so many less girls and so many less women playing the game of chess. To me, that's what it comes down to. And that's where the systemic change has to happen. So yeah, that's my take. That's my take. I mean, you need to be dedicated, but again, you need to be dedicated. But is there any reason that I was successful and made it to the top versus say any of a number of very talented masters or international masters who I grew up with as well? I mean, I don't think you can honestly say it's because I put in more time than they did. They tried really hard too, and I'm the one who did. So I think it's purely statistics. That's my honest take. It's statistics. Now, as far as like women in the future, if they get into it, I think and the culture becomes more welcoming, you'll still have more players. But again, the stats are always going to be stacked against them. So yeah, that's just my take. So all right, you guys, I'm gonna give my take. You guys don't have to agree with it, but that's my take at any rate. All right. Okay. So I actually liked reading that article. I think they went a little bit too far. I mean, not too far with the article, but they started going off topic a little bit. They didn't stick purely to chess the way that I would have liked to. But anyway, it is what it is.